rewards and consequences are really important because the rewards are going to keep you motivated as you go, and the consequences or the prospect of them is also going to be a very strong motivator. And so balancing these two in certain healthy and encouraging ways is very important. So for example, every time you meet one of these measurable markers of progress, give yourself a little victory lap. Maybe take an extra long break when you find you got to a really cool discovery. Or I remember when I was writing seminar papers for my final projects in classes, I'd sometimes buy a donut or two and I would split it into sections. So every time that I finished a section of the paper, I would eat a section of the donut as a certain little symbolic victory, and the little sugar rush would keep me going for the second one, right? But having these little rewards, maybe that one isn't the most healthy example, but whatever it is that brings you a little bit of joy at a point of success or at the point of accomplishment, it's going to reinforce your desire to keep going. Equally important, however, are consequences. And depending on what that might be that you're working on, the consequences may be a little bit more external, such as if you don't hand this in by a certain deadline, then you might get a bad grade, right? Your grade might be penalized for late submission. Or in some cases, if this is something that you're doing for yourself, sometimes really one of the most brutal kind of consequences is that you aren't seeing the progress as quickly as you would like. I find that a lot of times with projects that I'm doing for myself, there is nothing more devastating than seeing I'm not making progress. And that's a really strong consequence, which kind of brings me to our next phase, which is going to be prioritizing. Because if you're working on something, especially if it's for yourself and you don't have those external motivators, you might want to consider if consistent progress and just the simple fact that you are or are not reaching those measurable markers of progress, if that's not enough of an incentive for you, then you might want to consider where this task or where this project or habit lies in your list of priorities. A lot of times our plans fail not because of how many things we have to do, but because of how we are prioritizing them.